Hello and welcome once more to a Sanskrit lesson here from Sanskrit Studio. And today we are going to do lesson 5, first exercise video of 2. And before we start, I just want to tell you that I have new sheets that are downloadable. So they are so I have one like a assignment sheet for the exercises, and then I have one answer sheet with all the answers for this particular lesson. So they are available from the link in the description. But for those of you who don't want to do that, you can hand copy the 2 sheets here if you want. So I'll keep these 2 sheets here, A1 and A2. I'll keep this for 5 seconds and then I'll switch to A2 and hold that for 5 seconds. So you can stop the video 2 times and copy it over if you want. Okay, and now A2 there. And let's start doing these. So first of all we have Taha Pashanti, and let's see if we can find my pointer here. We always start with transliteration here if we are coming from Devanagari. Taha Pashanti. Okay, end of sentence there. They all. So Taha is a pronoun. They all. F. It's a feminine pronoun. They all. F. And what they're doing, they are seeing something. So they all see. And the ending NTI there fits perfectly with they all F. And we can also see this in the form here. They all. We have they all for the pronoun and they all for the verb. So they match. So that's our eswo line, English with Sanskrit word order, and our final translation here then is they all F C. And what I'm doing here as usual is that I'm letting the pronoun information transfer from the Sanskrit to the English, and then I'm skipping this part of the implicit pronoun in the verb here, and then I just take the last part there, which goes down to C there. Alright, so that's number 1. And now we have another one here, Bhavanti. So we make our transliteration here, Bhavanti. And that's all. Just one word in Sanskrit. And that means, of course, they all are. But it could also mean something with becoming. But I'm, for the purpose of this lesson, I'm just using the to be kind of translation. So they all are, on the eswo line here. And of course we have all this information in the verb, so we're not lost in terms of having a pronoun in English. But our method is that we are indicating the pronoun in the English, on the English line, with a parenthesis. So they all are. So the difference between situation here in number 1 above here is that the explicit pronoun in the Sanskrit gives us the information here in the plural that it is a feminine noun that we are referring to. Whether that is a feminine, whether that is a noun that represents something feminine in biology, we don't know, but maybe it does. So, but we have to separate also the idea of a linguistic gender from the biological gender. So it could be woman, or it could be another noun that is by its definition a feminine gender in the language. Alright, so bodhanti taha then. Okay, so we do number 3 here, and we are transliterating first bodhanti taha. And here we have another word order, but that is found sometimes in the literature, so we shouldn't be too surprised to see this here. So we do our eswo here, eswo. So then we are writing they all know for the verb, and then we are having the Sanskrit pronoun taha, which is also they all, but it is a feminine. So it's like number 1, so it's up here. We also had taha, but here the position was first in the sentence, but it's still of course the subject of pashanti. So in number 3 here, taha is also the subject of bodhanti, but its position in the sentence is a little more unusual in that it's at the end. Okay, eswo is done, and then we render it in English as they all. No. They all no. So here again then we take the pronoun info here and we put that over here, and then we take because the pronoun sort of overrides, it trumps the information in the verb when it is a subject. So all pronouns are of course not always the subject. They can be the object also. So we have to It has to be a pronoun and it has to be a subject of the sentence for us to be doing like this. Okay, so they all know. Good. Okay, then another question perhaps is here that up here in number 2, why did I put a pair of parentheses up here? And the answer is that the aim of this translation system, this whole that we're doing in this course, is that everything must be reversible. And by that I mean we cannot allow that we filter out too much information down here on the English line, because if I just say they, for instance, they all are without a pair of parentheses, we cannot really know what to do with that. We could perhaps say that, okay, they all are, since we don't have any specification of the gender, since it doesn't say they all are or they all are, etc. Then we maybe could but that is peculiar for this situation. So since it's genderized, so but in first person, for instance, in plural, if we take that, bhavamaha, if I were to say we all are, I would know if we would supply a pronoun or not. So either bhavamaha or vayam bhavamaha. And so this is the reason for why I have parentheses here, because I want to be specific, so that we can go back again and recreate the same sentence. And the idea is also then that we get used to this syntax or this way of writing as soon as possible, so that when we are encountered with an exercise that starts with English and asks us to translate into Devanagari, then we recognize the same way of writing the English line. But this, an aside here, of course, is that you can have an English 2 line here on your own papers, or English 3 line. You can do whatever you like, but you can do whatever you like after you have done this. And then you can do, like, if you want just to write they are there and skip the all, they all, or you know, if you wanted to make it into something that can be read into a book, or something like with the fluent text, then of course you might want to do that. But this is English for the purpose of this grammar lesson, we can say. Alright, so let's move on to number 4. Tani. Let's start with Tani. It's a pronoun, Tani, and we have Pashyanti. So it's about Pashyati, it's about seeing. Someone is seeing. And Tani are the ones who are seeing. So they all So Tani is neuter. They all N. And then we have Pashanti, so they all C. And the English line, maybe I should write eswo here just to, so we don't confuse it with the English. Okay, so they all neuter C. Number 5, Taha Bhavanti. Bhavanti. So they all F. They all are. I'm sorry. They all are. They all are. And the English will become they all F R. Okay, eswo here. And last but not least, Tani Bodhanti. So we have a pronoun again here, neuter, and then we have a verb from bodhati, and the form of course is plural again here, since we are practicing plural for pronouns here, and for the 3 new verbs. So Tani, so they all, and I can say this also here now, that this exercise, the A1 and A2 are simpler, of course, because they only touch upon the vocabulary and the grammar we have covered so far. So or in this lesson, in this particular lesson. So but when we go to exercise video number 2, we will get like an accumulated vocabulary and grammar for all the lessons. So then the sentences will be more demanding, or not perhaps more demanding in a theoretical sense, but we need more vocabulary then. So then the exercises become more interesting also, I think, at least. So hang in there. They all know. They all know. Bodhati. He knows. Okay, and then the English will be they all N know. Okay, so that's the eswo line there. Good. I think that's done. We're done here with the first sheet, A1, and then we do the A2. Whoops. A2, where we are. Let's see again. We are doing the other way around. So we are starting with English, and we are targeting the Devanagari. So let's see. They all FC, and then our eswo line comes right under it. So they all F, they all C, they all C. Okay, and we can have a period, and then they all F, that must be taha, and they all C, so it's about pashyati, but and the form is we're looking for is the plural, pashyanti, taha pashyanti, and then we do it in Devanagari here, taha pashyanti, so we can complete our number 1 here. End of sentence. Okay. Number 2, they all know. And here then we have this syntax here, or the way of writing, where we have a set of parentheses around the pronoun, and that means that we will not supply a separate pronoun. So now all the information, what we're doing is we're sort of clarifying the verb know here, the English word know, and we are preparing it for translation. They all know. So this will be one word in the Sanskrit. They all know, and then that's, so we want bodhati, but we want a plural form, which is bodhanti. Okay, and we have that, and then we just do it in, whoops, it's not so simple doing it with one of these drawing tablets I have here. But I think it works as a whole, I think, with this system here. So I'm keeping doing it. I think this is better than using like printed, because now I'm more flexible. We get the same style all over. Also, it's more hand done, hand written, and even if it's not as perfect in terms of execution as some super Sanskritist might do it, I still think that this lesson is mostly about grammar anyway, so it's about learning Sanskrit. It's not about perfecting our calligraphy. So you can perfect that on your own. So they all are, they all N are. It's an important thing there. So we do our eswo line. They all N. They all N, and they all are. They all are. We should have a period there, nice and clean, and then we should have our transliteration, and the neuter pronoun here is tani. The neuter for plural. So we have third person they, we have all, which indicates plural, and then we have the N that signifies neuter. So now they all are, and we know we want bhavati, but the right form is bhavanti in this case, since we're looking at the plural. And then we render it up in Tani, render it up in Devanagari, and we have a Bha, and then we have a Va, and then we have a NTI here. Nti. Alright, so number 3 is done. Number 4, they all know. So let's see, we do our eswo as usual. They all F, and they all know. Period, okay, and then they all F, so we have the feminine pronoun here, so it's taha, and then we have something about knowing, bodhati, but in plural, bodhanti. Okay, and then we do the Devanagari here. Taha, B, and one of those, and the, and then NTI here, hopefully. Something like that. Taha bodhanti. Number 5, they all NC. So we do our eswo. They all N, and then they all C, and they all N. The neuter variant is tani, and it's about seeing, so it's pashati, but in plural pashanti. And then we have a long a, ta, and then we do a na. Oh, we don't do a na. Well, we do a na, but further away. We do na first. Okay, we can do it like that first. The na is here, but then we do the I instead. Tani. Tani pashyanti. Like that. End of sentence. Okay, number 6, they all FR. So, or eswo, they all F. They all F, they all are. And so we have taha here, and bhavati becomes bhavanti, and then we do our Devanagari here, bhavanti. Okay, so I'll check this out now that the answers are right here on my sheets. Tani bhavanti. Okay, number 4, taha bodhanti, yes, and tani pashanti, and taha bhavanti. Okay, so that looks good. Alright, so I think that's the end here, and don't forget you have the answers also on the PDFs, which are in the description there. So you can repeat this. You can do this exercise yourself later on if you want, again, and to sort of consolidate your vocabulary and your grammar. And then you have the answers there too, so you don't have to watch the video several times. But of course, if you want to come back and watch the video again, you're always very welcome. So that's all for now, and so the next video will be number 2 then, in this lesson 5. So that will be 5E2 with all the accumulated vocabulary and grammar. So I hope I'll see you then, and until then I hope you will have a great day. Bye bye.